Scene. All right.
Hello. Hello,
We are
everybody.
back.
Welcome to day two. Day two. This is a good one. I'm glad
hmm
we're talking money. We're talking about money. And who doesn't like to talk about money and how to make money?
Yeah.
So, welcome to KDP for B2B. I'm Tammie, and this is Rob Chrin.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. And we're excited to get started. So we're not going to babble on too long about anything, but we just wanted to welcome you back. Thanks for joining us yesterday. If you didn't get to see yesterday, it's all recorded. So go back and watch yesterday's. It should be right in the video section in the Facebook group. So we're going to dive in. Rob has a lot to share with you about how to make $1,000 in a month. And I think this is such good stuff to see of how to make money in KDP for B2B. And that's usually what everybody wants to know. So this is a big day for most people.
Mhm.
How are you going to make, how are you going to make a revenue?
Right.
With this model, and we're going to share this information with you today. If you have any questions, please pop them into the comments.
Mhm.
We'll try to answer them live, but if we can't, we will definitely look back and answer them. If it's during a recording, then just put hashtag replay, so then we know you watched it and it was a replay, and we can catch up with that as well.
Also, just a quick question or a comment in the header section. It says, because we're using StreamYard, to click on that. That way, when your comment comes up, we can see your name, but otherwise
if you don't click on giving them permissions, we can't see who we're talking to. Right. But if you want to be anonymous, you can do that too. But anyway, so that would be helpful for us to see who we're talking to. We try to keep track of everything as we're talking, but we really want to give you the content and be present. So sometimes it's hard to catch up on all the comments, but we will be able to answer later. Yep. So without further ado, let's talk about the money, Rob. You're the data dude. That's what we like to call you around here. Data dude.
The data dude. So let me go ahead and share the screen. So how to make $1,000 in a month. So we chose $1,000, not meant to be, like that's all you're going to make, or that's the average, or whatever it is. It's just a round number that we think is very doable to make. Mm-hmm. If as we go through the example, I'll show you in a little bit of different variables and things that we use to calculate this. If you do more of those things, you can make more. If you want to do less, you can do less. And it's all up to you of how much you want to do. This isn't, like we've said yesterday, it's not like a get rich quick scheme. You still have to put the work into it. But you'll see what it is to achieve $1,000 a month isn't that significant of work that you have to do. You're still going to have to do work, right? But if you're just saying, I want to work and only achieve a few $100s a month, then you don't have to do as much. If you want to accelerate this and go faster, then do more than what we're showing. But also the benefit that we'll be talking about as we go through this is a recurring income that happens. It's almost like an investment. And you'll see as we go through the examples that it has like a compound interest type process. You'll see as the growth happens, it starts accelerating because you're dealing with businesses you start at month one, and they're creating a recurring revenue, and every time you add another business you're working with, that just becomes additive. It becomes a snowball effect moving forward. So we'll show that in a second.
And remember, this is your business as well. We'll just do a little housekeeping. This is your business. This is you make how much. We can't guarantee anything at all. There's no this is just a example of a way to see how the growth can happen. But I just want to let everybody know, this is your business. This is not an MLM. This is your business. You run it the way you want to. We're just giving you ideas of how that will look.
100%. So before we actually get into showing the example, yesterday we talked about the overview, but we didn't really talk about, well, how do you actually get compensated using this model? And so wanted to go over some just specific items pieces that we use to get compensated using this model.
Right.
So the first is a setup fee. And the setup fee is a one-time fee, and it really depends on your amount of effort it's going to take you to do the work. So one, because everybody in here, or the majority, have done KDP before, you know how long it takes you to create a book, and especially a low content book. If you're going to be doing a booklet that takes little effort, meaning that maybe the business has all of the content already, some of the examples like we talked about yesterday, that's going to be less work on your side. If it's something that you're going to have to create from scratch, that's going to be more work. So you have to just determine how much work is going to be on your part of time to do this, but also realize that what you're providing the business is of value, right? They either can't do it, or even if they could do it, they're not interested in doing it. They want to run their day-to-day business, right? They don't care about creating these books, and this becomes an expense to them in a sense of, I'm not creating new business for me if I'm creating this book. So there's value in what you bring to them. So everybody has to determine what their hourly rate net worth it, or worth it, whatever that is. Definitely I would suggest, don't say I'm just going to pay myself minimum wage, right? You're worth way more than that, right?
Right. All the stuff that you've really learned over the time of KDP and graphics and tools that we have to use and all that adds up, even though you might be quick at it now, but think about when you first started, how long it took you, and it's just something that, as anything that you've learned and put effort into, you need to be compensated for.
Yeah, 100%. So that's step one, a setup fee. Just depends on the type of business and the work that you're doing with them, how much time that's going to take, and you determine that as a setup fee. And that is a one-time fee in most cases. The next is a royalty. So for every book that is being sold, how much money are you going to make from that sale, right? And so depending on what listing the price of the book on Amazon will determine your royalty, because there's so much that Amazon takes,
right?
And there's a minimum and things. So you want to price that at a price that you're going to make a royalty, and also that what is it worth for the business's customers to pay. It's one thing to say, I want to make a $30 royalty and list the price there. That's great. But would anybody buy that book? Would probably have to be at $40-ish or whatever that would be, right?
Right.
So do that. So you obviously have to set that price that seems reasonable. And it also depends on, what the business is with regards to what their budget is. Are they going to be giving these books away? Are they going to be selling them? Is it part of a course? Like we talked about yesterday with Tara, had a course that charges several $100s, and then the cost of a book to her to give away is a lot smaller than if you're just saying maybe as a lead magnet or other things. So there's many, ways to think about, what makes the most sense, but you definitely want to be compensated. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily tell the business that you're going to make X number of dollars. Depends on how transparent you want to be. It's almost like a wholesale type cost. You just tell the business this is what it is, and they don't necessarily need to know all the details, but you want to make sure it's worth your while. But that's a way to get compensated using this model, is getting a royalty.
Yeah, I just posted a question.
Yeah.
It says, what's a good range for the setup fee when you're doing a low content booklet? Well, what I found is I started out about $500 per booklet. And I've actually raised my price to $600 per booklet as a minimum. That's what I do for my business, because my time and effort and all the tools that I use and I've learned and all that stuff. So I have a $600 minimum. That's what I start with. And this again is completely up to you and your business as well. But I really want you to think about too, when you're doing this setup fee, if you're just getting started and you want to sort of give this to them, or maybe cut the price in half because you just want to get started. Say my setup fee is $600, but today I'm going to give it to you for $300 because I really want to get this booklet done for you, or whatever, however you want to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But you could always, or you could give, just say my setup fee is $600, but I'm going to do that for free this time. If that's something you want to do. It's something that I've been sharing with other students, of a way, if you feel like you don't have enough experience and you want to just sort of get your feet wet, that's a great way to start. As you build, $600, I get $300 up front and $300 on the back end when the book is done. So
yeah, you definitely want to make sure they understand there's value in that if you're going to waive it, and say, I'm not going to charge you anything, that you tell them, like Tammie said, just that I normally charge this. You definitely wouldn't want to say, I've never done this before, so I'm going to waive it or whatever. I would suggest that maybe you would say, if you're going to target realtors, say, I've been working in the gym market and I'd love to get into the realtor market, so I'm going to waive my fee because I'd like to get started with you, or something along those lines to give them a sense that you're giving them value by not charging them. So definitely you don't want to cut that short or list it too low.
Right. Yeah. So that is what my setup fee is. Like I said, it depends on the level of effort we're putting into the booklet. Right. But that's my minimum start price. I've had, where we've gone higher because it was a lot more effort on making it more customized. But when it comes to having more of a templated style, and it's very just changing some covers and maybe a couple interior, I would start around $600.
Yeah. The other option to think about when we just talked about royalty, if this is a business and you can see the type of business that they're doing with regards to number of customers they have, if in the long run, you're going to make a royalty for every book and they're going to be selling hundreds a month or so, you may reduce that setup fee, but also tell them because of, future growth or, sales, exactly, that you're going to reduce this. So there's many things, like Tammie said, it's your business. You can negotiate what it is, but definitely you want to tell them there's value in the setup fee.
Which it does take time and it does take effort, and it's not something you can just, but
100%. And then the last thing is what we recommend is, you could have done one or the other, setup fee or royalty, but combination makes the most sense. Do both a setup fee and a royalty for every book that sells. Yeah. Because if you just do the setup fee only, that's great because you're kind of guaranteed that. But then if the business takes off and it has a lot of growth, you're going to miss out on that. And then the opposite is if you just don't do the setup fee and you're just hoping that they're going to sell, then you could put a lot of work in and get not compensated very much at all. So.
Yeah, and that's where I like the royalty, is because then I like that reoccurring income as they sell the books or buy the books. Then I get the royalty, and
100%. So speaking of recurring income and the royalty part of making it, what we talked about yesterday is, these books that are creating are low content books, and that lends itself to a recurring income. So if you think about it, if you buy a literature book and you read through it all, you don't have to buy it again to reread it, right? Correct. But if you have a journal or some kind of tracker, log tracker things, if you're in the gym or you're doing journaling, once you've gotten through the book, you're going to have to buy a new one for your next, session or tracking side. And I know for me, I don't know how many journals I have. You fill one up, you got to get another one. Right. And so that lends to it. So sorry, Tam.
No, I was going to say that's perfect, because think about this too. Don't make the book a year long because it gets too big. Think of, and I did this because I made a mistake, and I'm only telling you my mistakes. If I did a year-long journal, well, guess how heavy and big that journal was? It was a size, because I did it 8 by 10. Yes, I did, in 365 days. Yeah. So that's about a ream of paper, aside, that's how heavy it is. But for this type of thing, you want to do maybe 3 months.
Mhm.
That way someone's going to buy it again.
Right.
And 3 months takes it to a nice size too. It gives them 3 months. That's not like too short. I mean, you can make these determinations with the business owner as you're talking, but this is just my kind of overall take. 3 months seems to be just perfect. Good size. Then they reorder them again and keep going. Like you said, you have a journal that you use and reorder and like go for years.
Yeah, exactly. You got to keep her. So that's an advantage to this model and using these low content books is you get that recurring business that keeps coming back.
Yep.
All right. So numbers side. So if you're not a numbers person, I'm just going to kind of go over the basics. You can kind of, we'll see kind of like the net out, but I'm just going to kind of go over these pieces here that are important to determining, how to make 1,000. So the first column on the left, that's in yellow, the setup fee, we're just using 500 as an example that we're going to set up for every business that we work with. We're going to charge them $500. So that's column, the second column there. Then the number of businesses per month, we're just going to assume you're going to work with one new business every month. So you're going to create a new business or start working with one new business every month. The next column is average books per business per month. We've seen as you start working with businesses, kind of on the lower end, if you will, is about 20 books the business goes through per month. Could definitely be higher, maybe less, but I would say you would expect
average,
kind of expect that on average, you're going to get 20 books a month per business that you work with. And I think this definitely could be a lot higher depending on the business, but this seems like a good starting point of determination of, what you would be able to expect to sell or how many the business would be selling on a monthly basis. The next is the royalty. We like to try to achieve a $5 royalty for every book that's sold. That's just something that seems a reasonable payoff to us as a royalty, and the cost of the book, that it's not too expensive, that people still would be willing to pay that amount, or the business customers, I should say, and then you get compensated for that. So therefore, in the next column, the average recurring royalty is, 20 books a month at $5 gives you $100 a month recurring income.
Right.
Total businesses is just basically one a month, so it keeps added up. So at the end, we're just showing 12 months here, 1 year. And then every month, the revenue part is the setup fee and that recurring income. So it starts increasing. And then you see on the row 6, month 6, that's when we hit $1,000 a month, because we've been kind of putting more work in it before the snowball was starting to kick in. Right. Now we've netted $4,500, but for 6 months we haven't hit $1,000 a month on average, but we're that particular month we've hit it. And then you see at month 12, while we made $1,600 for the month, we finally hit $12,600 for the year, which is a little over $1,000 a month for the year. Now, one of the things that's important that we talked about before is this starts snowballing, right? So I'll show you the next graph. And you can see in the middle here for month 12, we're at 12,600, but at month 24, we're not at, double that, or around whatever that would be, 15,000-ish, we're at almost 40,000, because you get the compounding effect. It's almost like having an investment, you get compound interest. Each of these businesses you start at with month 1, every month you're getting a recurring income, and it starts increasing as you keep adding more and more businesses. So, the amount of monies that generate keep increasing over time. So that's a good thing to realize, that you have to put a little more work in, and maybe as time goes by you could still achieve 1,000 a month, but you're not having to put in as much work as long as those businesses keep selling.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's an average, so you don't know if those, maybe it's 15 books, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 30. So it just depends on what the business is doing. Yep. We have a couple questions, Rob, that I wanted to answer before we move on.
Yeah.
So it says, if the product is being done for a client, how do you track the sales and royalty? What's that?
Are you going to answer that?
Yes, I am. So I'm guessing that if you just did the setup fee only, it would just be their book. You would have no royalties, if I understand this correctly. What they're asking.
It may be, well, the way I'm looking at it is, this isn't under the business's account. This is under our own account. So we are the royalties are being paid to us, and then we then pay the business any monies that if you're doing anything. So it's all showing up under your account.
Let me clarify. I was going to say that too. I was just saying that if they did a setup fee only, you could put it under their account, and that would just be under their stuff.
Yeah.
And you would get no royalties for that. What we recommend is putting it under your account. Mm-hmm. I prefer to not have a royalty to the business owner if I don't have to, if we don't want, but the business does, if they do have a royalty, then I have to send them a royalty check every month. So it is, there's two ways to look at this, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this. So the royalty check is it's going to be under your account. So you are going to get that royalty. And that may be just how you have it set up. Realtors are a perfect example of that, because they're just going to buy the booklets. They don't need to sell them. But say the gym wants to sell the booklets, they would want to make a royalty because they would benefit from making money that way as well. So you can do a rev share that way, but you will have to set up with the business an agreement of how to pay them. And I do it monthly.
Yeah. So kind of summarizing all this, I guess, the royalty part could be just to you only. You could also, and depending on the situation, the business gets zero royalty, or you potentially, like Tammie said, if they want to have a book on Amazon that they're going to sell to their customers, or at least offer that to them, you could do a rev share with them, either split that $5 or increase the price of the book that you still make $5 and they make some amount, whether it's a few bucks, $5, depending on the situation. So we didn't talk about that specifically, but that's another option that you can do. But in both cases, it's under your account. So you get all the monies in, and then if there is monies due the business, you would then send them a check on a basis. So
and it like I said, it depends on how you want to set it up with the businesses. The advantage of paying them a royalty is that they're excited to sell the book. So that drives the traffic even higher. Now, it's not necessarily that you have to. So don't think that just because if you want to just start out, which I highly recommend, just start out doing royalties for you. So the realtor would be a great one to do. And then maybe move into royalties. If you like I said, whatever you feel to do, but that's how I started out with just, I was making the royalty, and then I've added some other people that were businesses that were wanting to sell the book and make royalties too.
And as you know, if you're selling on KDP, that's just meaning to increase the price of the book that's there. It doesn't cost the business anything or you anything to have that book on Amazon. It's just when it sells, whatever that price point is, then you get the royalty. And then, depending on the breakdown, if you're going to do a rev share, then you would send them the check. That means you're going to have to do an accounting. It's not that difficult, but it is something that ideally you don't want to have to do, but there isn't, like Tammie said, an incentive. If they know they're going to make X number of dollars, they're going to be more, promoting that book to their customers, because they know they're going to make money on it versus it's just an expense for them.
Right. Okay. We have a few questions popping up here. Okay. Let's see this one. So how do they order books if that's under your account? They just order the books off of Amazon. Or we're going to get into the other part too, right, Rob, in this about wholesale, or is that tomorrow?
We're not talking about wholesale at all. So that's another option. The author's copy.
So the author's copy, which we like to call wholesale, they can order those from you, and then you can send them to them. And we talk a lot, we go more in depth in our course that we have, that we kind of work through all those processes. But so how they order the book. So if it's Tara, that we'll use her as an example, her client buys her course. She just goes onto her Amazon account and she orders it, and then that's it. So you don't have to go under anybody else's account.
Well, so it's essentially it's the link to the book, that you have.
Right.
So they either share that with their customers, the business's customers, and say, here, go here and buy it directly, or say in Tara's case, or the business owner can buy it and ship it to their customer. But if it's the other side where they want a wholesale or the author's copy, they order it from you and then it gets shipped to them. So they have a physical copy at their location.
Right.
But in all cases, that's through you and or a link that they go to purchase it.
Yep. So I give all my clients the link to their book. Plus, we share that on our different social platforms too.
Yeah. If that's not clear, let us know.
We
didn't want to go into too much detail on that at this point, but
I know there's a lot of questions about that, but we do have it all worked out for you, but it's a lot to pricing is and rev share and all that goes, and it gets a little bit,
Yeah.
Okay. So if you do a rev share with the business client, then have access to your account? No, they do not have access to my account. How do you guarantee transparency to them? I do download the, when I do the rev share, when I send it out, I do download the Excel sheet they have, and I share that with them, but I only make sure it's per
Amazon.
client.
You can get the report from Amazon. So
I get the report from Amazon, and then I put that all together for them, and I share that with them. Yeah. But only their book, obviously. You don't want to, and there's ways to, make it show just what you want to see.
Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yep.
Definitely let us know if that doesn't make sense to you.
Right. There was one other question, but I didn't want to. Says, do you recommend 6x9 or 8x5x11? That just depends on what type of business you're dealing with. 6x9, like the realtors, most of my booklets are 6x9, but sometimes they are like a workbook would be an 8x5, and sometimes then I like to do this size, the 8x5 by 8x5 for like journals, because it lays a little flatter. So I like that one first. Anything writing, and it's kind of up to you and the business owner. Yeah, so
and it's always nice to have some example books available at different sizes that you could bring along when you're talking to the business to show them both the sizes and then things like coloring versus black and white versus black and white and or glossy, all the things. Just to see that, so they
glossy
can see
cover, matte cover.
Yeah.
The other thing too is you could always add these. You could have multiple sizes. For IOMI, I've done a few different sizes. I've done the 8x5 by 8x5. I've done the 6x9. Yeah. So you can. It just depends. Like you could have multiple sizes as well. So I have them on as color and as black and white.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely, if they're going to have their customers buy it, then the customer can choose. Okay, what size do they want?
It didn't take me much longer to rearrange some things and put all the couple sizes on there for them. Yeah. I think we got all the questions, and that makes sense. That's great. I'm glad we're making sense for you.
Yeah.
I know it's I know it's a little complicated when you first hear it, but as we'll keep reconfirming all this. And thanks for all the questions. We really appreciate it. And
perfect.
We'll let you keep going, Rob.
Perfect. So now that we've kind of given an example here, you can run your own numbers. So in the unit section, there's a spreadsheet you can download and put in your own numbers. What is it that you want to achieve, right? What do you want to charge as a setup fee? Or you can put in different numbers and see the impact of what kind of monies you'll make by doing a setup fee, or maybe do $100 setup fee, or whatever you feel that's, right for you. You can see the impact of that. How many businesses will you work with per month? Do you want to do one? Maybe do one every other month. Maybe you're going to do 2, 3. You can see the impact by adding in each of these, how much monies that you can accumulate by doing that. Royalty, what kind of royalty do you want to make? We chose 5. Maybe you want to do 3 or 2 or 1 or 10, whatever it is, you can put those numbers in and see how that changes the results.
Right. And I just picked 5 because that worked for me in the beginning. But, sometimes it's a little lower, sometimes it's a little higher, depending on the type of business I'm working with, what kind of booklet it is, what the price range I want it to be in, and maybe the business owner wants, you kind of get a sense of all that as you work with the business owner too.
Yeah, and when you're talking to the business owner, once they have an understanding, want to work with you, you can start talking to them about what is their budget, how much are they spending on advertising and marketing, and get a sense of what are they willing to spend, because that way you can then make adjustments to fit that. Because maybe if you did 5, maybe it's going to be a little higher than they wanted, so you can drop it to 3 or 4 or whatever it is, so that you can still
get the business.
Yeah, you get a business that's going to work and make sure it still values you, but maybe for that particular business, you have to come in a little lower. Or maybe they'll say, I have a lot more volume. So, especially if you do a rev share or whatever, or we need the price of the book to be at this point, you can kind of play
Many
around
options.
with it.
Yeah.
And that's also, we haven't talked about it, but most of the people that are watching this are, no KDP, the size of the book, coloring versus black or white, those all impact.
Pages, how many pages?
I shouldn't say size, the number of pages determine, the cost of the book. So you can look into all those type of things.
And they can find this under the unit section in this group, the download spreadsheet. So Rob put that together for you guys so you can kind of crank, do all your own numbers and put them in the spreadsheet and figure out your what you want to make.
We suggest staying in the same niche when starting out. So finding new businesses is going to be more profitable if you stay in the same niche. And when I say niche or niche, depending where you're coming from, I mean like realtors or wedding planners or gyms. It's just so much better just to pick one and stay there. And the reason is we talked about that yesterday. You're not reinventing the wheel. So if you're going to work with realtors, right, and let's say you do the home maintenance type guide, right now, as you do with different realtors, the interior is pretty much exactly the same. You're going to change the contact information, some images, maybe update the cover a little bit, and then you're done. So you're going to be more profitable because it's less work that you're going to have to do. It's going to be simpler to do that type of work. So starting out, definitely suggest that you do that. Doesn't mean that if you're working with realtors and an opportunity with a gym or a wedding planner comes, definitely take advantage of that, but don't be actively searching for, recommend it. Just kind of keep it focused.
Well, this kind of happened to me, and I did this, and I was kind of all over the place. And now I've really kind of honed in on a few, because it was taking me more time to almost like reinvent the wheel on this, reinvent the wheel on this. But now that I have it down in certain niches, then now it's just like changing the covers and putting a few little customized touches. Much easier. Once I figured, I was like, okay, that makes more sense. I kind of stopped going out to certain businesses. Just, I got excited when I first started, and I just started going out to anything and everybody. And I found what was better. I really liked nutritionists, and I really liked realtors, and I started really honing in on those kind of things, and it's made it a lot easier. And now I'm really into wedding planners. So that's something so I have about 3 or 4 that I kind of stay in that area of business. We have another question. So how much time do you usually expect to spend on each client during the production of the book and after? Well, it really depends. This one, sometimes it depends it's just on the personality, really, because some people they give me the information. I have actually a booklet that I created, and we do a checkoff list so I can make it quicker with the client or with the business owner. But sometimes, the business owner doesn't have time. So we're back and forth a little bit, but they just give you all the information and then you take off. But sometimes they give you some of the information, then you're waiting a little bit longer. And, sometimes it's just talking with them a little bit longer. It depends on their schedule. That's but on average, I would say, once we get the first meeting or 2 done, it's probably I give myself 3 weeks to a month to get everything from them from start to finish. And the book up on Amazon. And Amazon, if you're doing KDP, it could take a little longer during the holidays to get the book up on Amazon's platform. So sometimes that delays a week or so. So I like to give myself 3 weeks to a month.
Yeah, and also for the book itself is going to be your skill level. If you're, not as skilled of creating a KDP book, that may take you a little longer to do this versus somebody that's totally skilled in that. Beyond just the interaction with the business of trying to, like Tammie was saying, getting some of the delays isn't when she says 3 weeks to a month. That's just more because it's a communication with the business, getting everything, clarifying things. It's kind of a back and forth thing.
Right. Maybe they didn't give you the logo yet and you're waiting for that. So it depends on how many books you have going at the time or your personal life going. But, I'm just going to say 3 weeks to a month, just that gives you some leeway. And then, depending on, as one question I always ask too is when do you expect this book to be ready? Because sometimes they think it's going to be done in a week or a day
yeah, or an hour.
Yeah. So I try to set up an agreement that we know the expectations as well.
And so I think it really depends on the business, how they're willing to respond to you and react to things that you need, because that usually is the delay beyond your own skills and being able to create these books and things.
Right.
Was that it on the question?
Yeah, that was it on the question. Right?
I think, yeah. So that's pretty much for today what I wanted to cover on, just to give you kind of a perspective of, this model, how the different pieces come together, and depending on what you can do and what you want to charge, how you can achieve $1,000 a month. To me, the numbers that are there seem very doable, and they've been doable for us and doable for the people that have done this model before. And so I think it just gives you a baseline, and then now you can kind of look at it and adjust it higher or lower depending on what your goals are. What is it that you want to do? But now if you want to make $2,000 a month, okay, what kind of work do I need to do with regards to number of businesses, royalty fees, number of books that the business sells, those type of things, which is that part's out of your control, how many they sell. But sometimes doing a rev share will help with them. If they know they're making money on this, that will help them. So we just wanted to kind of give you an overview of, sometimes when you say, you can make $1,000 a month and you just say that, you don't have any, perspective of what that really entails. So we just wanted to kind of go over that information, and hopefully that gives you that sense of what it would take to achieve these numbers.
Yeah. And we do have a course and all that really dives in deeper on this. We're just kind of giving you the idea of how this model works. And we have a calculator. Rob put together a KDP royalty calculator, which is huge. That's very, very helpful. But you don't need all those things, but we do have them because we noticed it's helped me. We started out because I do this business, and he started creating these things for me. And he's like, Tammie, how much do you want to make? And I'm like, I want to make this much. And so that's where we're sharing with you guys what all those numbers and all that stuff. But yes, then there's the royalty calculators, just fabulous. But I want you to know you can always get the fees and find out on KDP, Amazon's KDP. You can find out how much a booklet would cost to make. And it just takes a little bit more time to go through all that. But he has a calculator that you just plug in all the numbers, and that really helped me. So.
And so speaking of a course, so, on Friday, we're going to talk about the course that we have. And it's really, we want to, to make you successful. We developed this course because we've outlined and documented all of the steps that we have gone through, all the trial and errors, and added in all of the pieces and information that helps speed up the process, because that's kind of the next thing. If you're really looking to accelerate the implementation of the model, that's why we developed the course, because the information we're providing during the week, you can go out and start, even right now you could, knowing KDP, you can start doing things, but there's a lot of unknowns that come up that take it a little longer to do things if you do it on your own. So we put this together, and we're going to be sharing with you on Friday about what we've put together to help accelerate that.
Right.
And then the last thing is we're going to have some special deals that we're doing for people that are watching this, to be able to get some special opportunities that we haven't shared before, so special deals. So definitely watch the rest of this week and then on Friday too, and we'll talk about some things to get you started if you're ready to get, jumpstart this right now.
Mm-hmm. We have another question.
Yeah.
So Tammie, when you're starting out, how many clients would you recommend starting with, and how many is too many to juggle? That's probably, again, your own skill set. When I first started, I was newer into KDP. So I was doing basically about one book a month and a half, just because I was still newer at it. And but the more that I've done, the more that I can kind of do and put together quickly now. But I was doing about 1 to 2, maybe 2 a month would be the most I personally could do, just depending on the level of complexity of the booklet as well. The gym booklet took me a lot longer, and I learned that wasn't something that I was really wanting to do as much. I did create the template and do all that, so I do have it. But the realtor, once I put that template together, now I'm, that's pretty quick. Once the realtor says yes and gives me all the information, I can do it fairly quick. So.
Now, one of the things also, if you get to the point where you're very good at finding businesses that want to work with you, we built up a relationship and have a lot of resources to, if that's your limiting factor of creating the books, we have people that can assist you with doing that. So if you can bring in 5 businesses a month or 1 or 2 a week, and your problem is getting the books done, we have resources that can help you if that's the limiting factor. So don't limit yourself if you can get the business coming in.
I think that's, we do have those resources. I think, some people are stronger at making the relationships, getting the books. Some people are better at graphics and KDP, and they don't want to go out and talk to anybody, or online talking now. But so you can kind of think of it that way. But if you just want to do it yourself, which is all I did for, quite a while, is just did this by myself. I was doing about 1 to 2 books a month at the time in the beginning. If that helped, I hope that helps answer. But it's really hard to say. Everybody's a little different and learning. And I was doing it full time, so that was my full-time job.
And I think, like we talked about just a little bit ago, most of the delays or the time that it takes is the interaction with the business and getting the things that you need. So, another example would be like they send a logo, but it's the wrong size, pixel size and stuff. So it's going to look grainy. And so you got to get them to make those changes.
It's not a PNG or something. Not,
right? Yeah, exactly. So it's usually that probably is the limiting factor of getting these done, not necessarily the creating of the book, even though that is obviously a factor too, but there's so many pieces that fit in to be able to really accelerate that. But once you get those things going, you can streamline those things.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm doing besides just working on the booklet, I'm always, and we're talking about this in the pipeline, I'm always going out to other businesses, starting that relationship, kind of getting those things going, or talking online. And we're going to talk a little bit about that this week too, about relationship building, because that's another whole pipeline of getting business. So I'm creating the booklets, but then on this other end, I'm just meeting a new business, or I'm talking to a new business owner, getting that started. So there's a lot of other pieces that you're doing besides just creating the booklets after you get one person, but 100%. We'll talk more about that this week.
And that leads into perfectly for tomorrow's agenda. You have it right on. So tomorrow is about how to build a pipeline of businesses that want to work with you. So we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that moving forward, to be able to, if you say you want to do 1 a month, business wise, wouldn't it be nice that after month 1 that you have a pipeline, you got another business ready to go for month 2,
in the wings,
and the wings ready to go that you can start working with and starting the relationship with them. And I think we talked about yesterday, I can't remember, but we're also, with regards to building these relationships, we've been developing a lot of skills, and this came from COVID, that we can't always go to businesses and build relationships with them. And, or if you don't feel confident enough, we're developing all kind of skills to use email and working with contacts through businesses through like Facebook and other social media channels, to be able to build those relationships. So that's on, I think, Thursday, day 4. We're going to talk a lot about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that's kind of a sticking point for some people about how do I talk to the businesses?
Yeah.
And we dive into a lot of it doesn't have to be a sales pitch, it doesn't have to be a cold call. These are really warm leads. These are relationship building.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that and how you can do it and how to sort of just create a way to talk about the business and how their business is working and not sound like you're trying to sell them something right off the bat. Just don't walk in and here's my book. Want a book? Want a book? Anyway, so I have a lot of techniques that I've learned in my lifetime of sales, and I don't like to do sales. I don't like cold calls. I don't like sale. And I always say I've never sold one thing in my life, but I've made a lot of sales because I have strategies and techniques of how to do that. And how to do it authentically and being yourself. Now, everybody's a little different how they want to approach this, but I'm going to give you some ideas and then you can tweak them for yourself.
Yep, 100%. All right, so that was on the slide. So and awesome. Hopefully that answered today's questions. If you feel that there's still confusions, definitely reach out to us and we can clarify more.
And there's a lot. I know we just dumped a lot of information on you. The pricing and the rev share and how the royalty works, that's a big piece to this. And we just are giving you little pieces, little bite-sized pieces of it. And I know you guys have to marinate this a little bit and let it sink in, just like a business owner would. But just now you have to just think about this, and we have it all worked out. So if you have questions, we're more than happy to answer the questions for you. We just didn't want to give you so much today that this is a lot already.
Yeah, exactly.
But we have developed it. We have worked through all the process, and so we can get you accelerating this a lot quicker, so you don't have to stress about it.
100%. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think that's all
that was all I wanted to cover. Hopefully, like I said, it gives you that baseline, the perspective of how to achieve this, and you can ratchet it up or down depending on what your goals are, what you want to do. So.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for being here and asking all these great questions. We appreciate all the questions, and that helps everybody else too. Sometimes people didn't think about asking that question. So I think questions are always good. And hopefully we answered them to our best of our ability. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and we're building pipelines. Let's build the pipeline of business.
100%. And then people that are rewatching this that haven't watched it live, then definitely ask questions. Feel free to ask questions too. While it may not be live, we monitor these and we'll respond to those questions for you if you have more.
All right. Have a great day. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks everybody.
So much. Bye-bye.
Bye now.